कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा
राधा माधव
जय
कुंज
कुंज
बिहारी।
बिहारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय
जय
गोपी
गोपी
जन
जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन।
यशोदानंदन
व्रज
प्रजन
जन
वन्दन।
रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज
कुंज
बिहारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपी
गोपी जन
गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन
यशोदनंदन ब्रज
प्रजन रंजन।
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
जय
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज
कुंज
बिहारी।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare
हरे
Krishna, Hare
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Krishna Krishna, Hare
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 हरे राम
Rama,
राम
Rama,
हरे हरे।
Hare
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण हरे
Krishna
हरे
Krishna
कृष्णा
Krishna
हरे हरे।
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama,
राम हरे
हरे राम राम
Rama
राम
राम
हरे
Hare Hare.
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama Hare
हरे
Hare
Hare.
हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
हरे
Hare
हरे।
Hare
हरे
Hare
राम
Rama,
हरे
Hare
राम
Rama,
राम राम हरे हरे।
Hare
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
हरे
Hare
राम
Rama,
Rama,
हरे
Hare
राम
Rama,
राम
Rama
राम
Rama,
हरे
Hare
हरे।
Hare.
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Hare
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Krishna
Krishna
कृष्ण
Krishna
हरे हरे।
Hare
हरे राम
Hare
राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण
Krishna
कृष्ण
Krishna
कृष्ण हरे हरे।
Hare
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा गोकुल नंद राधा गोकुल नंद श्री राधे।
Jaya
राधा गोकुल नंद राधा
Hare
गोकुल नंद राधा
Radha
गोकुल
Shri
नंद
Radhe
जय सीता राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान। जय सीता राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान।
Jaya
सीता
Sita
राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान।
Jaya
Sita
Sita
राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान। जय राधा लंदनीश्वर श्री राधे। जय राधा लंडनेश्वर राधा लंडनेश्वर राधा लंडनेश्वर श्री
Shri
राधे।
Radhe
जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा मैया। जय
Jaya Jagannath
जय
Jaya Jagannath Jaya
देवा जय सुभद्रा मैया। जय राधा माधव Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe
Jaya
Jaya
Madhava Radha Madhava
Radha
Madhava
Shri Radhe.
Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva
Jaya
Jaya Panja
Jaya
Jaya Panja
Panchatattva
Tattva Jaya Panja Tattva Jaya
Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha
Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha
Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Vrindavana Dham
Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Vrindavana Dham
Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe
Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe
Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai
Jaya Gauranitha 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 Jaya Gauranitha
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Hare Krishna
Great. Okay, Mataji. So beautifully led, very nice. Captain Mataji. Okay, thank you so much. We shall move on to next Mangala chapter. Okay, nice to see Sita Sundari Mataji and Sarup Prabhuji. And I welcome to all of you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, sorry, could not hear you. So
Prabhuji, would you like to lead Mangala prayers, Prabhuji, please?
sure, Prabhu. Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yes, we can hear you properly. Yes.
Okay, and maybe I'll go line by line so that everyone can follow.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Om Agana Timirandhasa Gyananjana Salakaya
ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
Chakshurun
Chakshu sorry, Chakshur Unmilitan Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha
Chakshuramitam
तस्मै श्रीगुरवे
Namaha
Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale
Sri Chaitanya
मोहितं स्थापितं
Mantam
Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam
Swayam Rupa
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapadakkamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsa
Vandeham Shri Guru
Vaishnava
Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam
श्रीरूपं
साग्रजातं
सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम्
तद्वैतं सवाधूतं परिज्ञानसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं
तद्वैतं
साग्रजातं
सवदत्तं हरिजन
परिजनसहितं
सहितं
कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं
कृष्णचैतन्यम्
श्रीराधाकृष्णपदं सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश
श्रीराधा कृष्णपदा
श्रीकृष्णपदां
सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांशा
हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते
हे
कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो
कृष्ण
दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपीशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता
नमस्ते
नमस्ते
तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये
सप्तकाञ्चना गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये
वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुव एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमो
नमो
नमः
नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामी इति नामिने
नमो
नमः
विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे
नमस्ते ते सरस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष प्रसाद देशठ
नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवशादि गौर भक्त वृंदा
जय कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री विसादि गौर भक्त वृंद
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Vidai Gaur Premanandir. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol. Very beautiful. Okay, can I request Gayatri Mataji to lead this one? Chaitanya Charitamrita, please.
Sure, Prabhuji, I will try. Vande Guruni Shabhaktan
Vande Guru Isha
Ishamishawatarakan
Isham Isham Avatarakam
Tat Prakasham Tatchaktihi
Prakasham Jadashaktihi
Krishna Chaitanya Samnyakam
Krishna Chaitanya Samnakam
Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Nityanandau Sahoditau
Nityanandau Sahoditau
Gaudodaya Pushpavantau
Gaurodaya Pushpavantam
Chitrau Sandau Tamonudau
Chitau Sandau Tamonidau
Yadadvaitam Brahmopanishadi Tadapyasya Tanubha
Brahmopanishadi Tadapi
Ya Atmantaryami Purusha iti so asyam sa vibhavaha
Ye Atmantarami Purusha Iti Sa Shamsa Vivavaha
Shadaishwaryai Purno yah iha Bhagavan sa swayam mayam
Aishwarya Purnoya Isha Bhagavan Swayam Navayam
Na chaitanyat Krishna jagati paratatvam param iha
Na
Na Chaitanya Krishna Jagati Paratatvam Param Iha
Anarpita charim chirat karunaya vartinah kalau
Anarpitacharim Chirat Paramaya Vacharam Kalau
Samarpayitum unnatojvalarasam swabhakti sriyam
Samarpayitum Unnatujala Rasam Svabhakti Sriyam
harihi purata sundara dyuti kadamba sandipitaha
Harihi Purata Sundara Diti Kadamba Sandipitaha
Dipitaya
sada hridaya kandare spuratau vah sachinandanaha
Sada Hridaya Kandare
Scripture
Vasachinandanaha
Andanaha
Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Hladini Shaktirasmad
Radha Krishna
Pranaya Vikriti Lalila
Rajati Shakti Asha
Ekatmanav Api Bhuvi Pura Dehabedam Gatau Tau
Mana Vipura
Vedanta
Chaitanyakyam Prakatam Adhuna Tadvayam Chaikyamaptam
Chaitanyam Prakatam Arjuna
Tekyamaptam
राधाभावद्युतिसुवलितं नौमि कृष्णस्वरूपम्
राधा
भावद्वितिसुवलितं
नौमि कृष्ण स्वरूपम्
श्रीराधाया प्रणयमहिमा कीदृशो वानयैव
न्याय महिमा कृष्ण
स्वाध्यो येनाद्भुतमधुरिमा कीदृशो वा मदीयः सौख्यं चास्य मदनुभवतः कीदृशं वेत्ति लोभात्
मदनुभवतः कीदृशं वेति लोभात्
तद्भावाद्याः समजनी सचिगर्भसिन्धौ हरिन्दुः
तद्भावाद्यः
समञ्जनी
गर्भसिन्धुः
सजिगर्भ
हरिन्दुः
हरिन्दुः
पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं
पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं
भक्तरूपा स्वरूपकम्
स्वरूपम्
भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं
अवतारं भक्ताख्यम्
नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्
शक्तिकम्
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानन्द
जय जय
श्री
श्री
चैतन्य जय
चैतन्य जय नित्यानन्द
जय अद्वैत चन्द्र जय गौरभक्तवृन्द
जय चन्द्र जय जय गौरभक्तवृन्द
नमो महावदान्याय
नमो
महावदन्याय
वदन्याय
कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते
कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते
कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य
कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य
नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः
नाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः
कृष्णवर्णं त्विषा कृष्णम्
कृष्णवर्णं त्विषा कृष्णम्
साङ्गोपाङ्गास्त्रपार्षदम्
साङ्गोपाङ्गस्त्रपार्षदम्
यज्ञैः सङ्कीर्तनप्रायैर्
यज्ञै सङ्कीर्तनप्रायैर्
यजन्ति हि सुमेधशः
यजन्ति सुमेधसः
सुवर्णवर्णो हेमाङ्गो
सुवर्णवर्णो हेमाङ्गो
वराङ्गश्चन्दनाङ्गदी
वराङ्गश्चन्दनाङ्गदी
सन्न्यासकृच्छमश्यान्तो
सन्न्यासकृष्णमासान्तो
निष्ठा शान्तिपरायणः
निष्ठा शान्तिपरायणः
मूकं करोति वाचालम्
मूकं करोति वाचालम्
पङ्गुं लङ्गायते गिरिम्
पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिम्
यत्कृपातम् अहं वन्दे
यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे
परमानन्दमाधवम्
परमानन्दमाधवम्
श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरम्
Sri Krishna
Chaitanya
Sri Gurum Dinatarinam
Sri Gurum Dinataranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So very beautifully led. Chaitanya Charitamrita place. Thank you so much. Okay, we got Chaitanya Mataji joined and Gauringi Mataji joined. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, everyone, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Gaurangi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so shall move on to the next teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So we are in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, chapter 16. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is concluding the descriptions to Sanatana Goswami. And while he was explaining Atma Ramavas, still in the 15th chapter continuously, Atma Ramavas, so still it is further being continued in 16th chapter as well. In the last session, Jai Mataji has summarized past 14th and 15th chapters very nicely in the presentation. And we have covered until last one paragraph, Mataji.
Okay. You covered this one?
We covered this one, and I think, yes, and then, yeah. And this one as well, I think we did.
That paragraph as well.
Yeah, that's it. Till the friends. Yeah.
Okay. So where should I start from? This land of Rajbhumi?
No, so we covered this, and I think the word Atma.
Word Atma is another meaning for its nature.
Yeah, that we did.
Yes, and this one,
we did.
Again, Krishna glorifying Balaram, that his lotus feet, see, all this land of Rajbhumi is made glorious by touch of your lotus feet, being touched by your fingers, and the creepers have also become glorious. When you took on the hills, rivers, and lower animals, they too are all made glorious, and the gopis being embraced by your hands and arms are also made glorious. Here it is, Krishna is glorifying Balaram. Okay, so and then further, so we need to start from here, Mataji. RadhaSevika Mataji, do you have laptop, Mataji?
Okay, okay, so I have prepared something today. Let me just read it, and hopefully it will perfectly fit in with this verse, hopefully. Okay, so the word Atma also means this body. The yogis who practice bodily exercises, considering the body to be the self, are also elevated to the transcendental service of the Lord if they associate with pure devotees. There are many people who believe the body to be the self, and they are engaged in many fruitive activities, including bathing rituals and ordinary worldly activities. But when they come in contact with a pure devotee, they also engage in transcendental service of the Lord. So this actually fits in perfectly with so yesterday I was meditating on what I wanted to speak about today, and because it's Amavasya, so it's the Purushottama, it's like the last day, and it's the Amavasya so it's a Monday today, and that's normally dedicated to Lord Shiva. So I'm going to bring up, and this will go with this verse very, very nicely. I'm going to bring up Krishna book. If I can just share it. Let me see if I can share it. Start share. And then hopefully I'll be able to bring it up. Can you see this screen? The deliverance of Lord Shiva?
Not yet, Mataji.
You can't see it, yeah? Okay. Okay, so if I just go to share. How do I go to share screen? I forgot. Okay, to share. And then screen. Can we see it now?
No, Mataji, we can't see.
Okay, it is. You can't see the deliverance of Lord Shiva. Okay, hold on.
Share entire desktop, Mataji. We will
Prabhu,
see.
can you put it on then, please? It's Krishna book, chapter it's chapter 88. It's a Krishna book, the deliverance of Lord Shiva. So I think it will go nicely with today's verse. Because Lord Shiva is Param Vaishnava, and he's a great, the greatest devotee of Lord Krishna. And I thought it might be nice to speak about him today, and Krishna also, because it's like the last day of Purushottam Mass. I know some people celebrated it yesterday, but because it's a Monday, and I think they say like every 30 years, it's only come like it's come after after 30 years, and it's meant to be a really auspicious day, because in this day, because it's a day that's dedicated to Krishna's greatest devotee, Lord Shiva, and also it's the end of Purushottam Mass. So, and it goes perfectly with just what we've read in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, as a great devotee of Krishna, King Parikshit was already liberated, but for clarification, he was asking various questions of Sukdev Goswami. So this is actually as Parikshit Maharaj was being given the teachings of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Parikshit Maharaj's question was, what is the goal of the Vedas? And Sukdev Goswami explained the matter, giving authoritative descriptions from disciplic succession from Sanandana down to Narayan Rishi, Narada, Vyasadev, and then Sukdev himself. So obviously this is talking about the parampara, and the conclusion of the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam is around devotional service or bhakti, and this is the ultimate goal of the Vedas. So any Vedas that we read, and especially like Srimad Bhagavatam, the ultimate goal of this is bhakti, devotional service. So a neophyte devotee may question if the ultimate goal of life or the conclusion of the Vedas is to elevate oneself to the platform of devotional service, then why is it observed that a devotee of Lord Vishnu is generally not very prosperous materially, whereas a devotee of Lord Shiva is found to be very opulent? So obviously, these questions have been asked already in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and like especially in India and places like that, there's always like you have the people that follow Lord Shiva, and then you have the ones that follow Lord Narayan. And obviously there is generally, like, most people have the understanding that you really can't worship one without the other, but still there is these groups of people that think they can only like worship one or the other. And then to elevate oneself to the platform of devotional service. So he's basically Parikshit Maharaj, like he's observed this, that why is it that Lord Shiva's devotees are always, fairly opulent, materially very well to do, whereas Lord Narayan's devotees are not. And so Parikshit Maharaj, so even in those days, these same questions were being asked, even to Sukdev Goswami. So Parikshit Maharaj asked this question to Sukhdev Goswami. My dear Sukhdev Goswami, it's generally found that those who engage in the worship of Lord Shiva, whether in human, demoniac, or demigod society, become materially very opulent. So we often see that, Lord Shiva himself is called Mahadev. He's the dev of like many of the demigods, and even the bhoots and the prets and the and humans also. And most of them worship Lord Shiva to become opulent. So even King Indra, we always see him always like restless because someone is going to take over the heavenly planets, and therefore he then summons up normally all the demigods to go and fight on his behalf, to make sure that he remains the heavenly king. And he's also like, we see like Lord Indra is also praised to Lord Shiva. We see like Ravana, he prayed to Lord Shiva. So there's a lake. So you have Mansarovar Lake in near Kailash, and then there's another lake next to it. It's called Ravansthal. It's still there today. And if you go there, when you go to Mansarovar, it's so beautiful, and you automatically feel like you want to dip into it. But then there's this other lake next to it, which looks equally beautiful, but nothing goes near it. And when we were there, like we asked the Sherpas, like, why doesn't no one go near there? And he said, this is the lake where Ravan did tap to Lord Shiva, and he got his, he got his boons, and he became very materially opulent. And because that's where he prayed to Lord Shiva. So we hear, and then obviously you have like, there's Banasur. I was reading about him yesterday as well. Banasur was another like demoniac king who came in the line of Prahlad Maharaj, and he also he actually kidnapped Krishna's son Aniruddha, and he was a big devotee of Lord Shiva, and he was so demoniac that he even got Lord Shiva to eventually fight Krishna, because that was his devotee. And obviously it's just Leela between Lord Shiva, who is the greatest devotee of Lord Vishnu. But yeah, this is it, what Prabhu's just put up on the screen. So I think this is Mansarovar. I don't know if this is Mansarovar. Yeah, but then there's another one that's next to it. I don't know, this might be Raksh. I can't remember. There's two of them. This one may. So so Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva, even though Lord Shiva is the greatest devotee, and essentially like he, we follow in his state, he's the greatest Vaishnava, we follow in his footsteps in that respect, that we want to be a devotee of Lord. So these questions were being asked, that why is it that Lord Shiva's devotees are more opulent than Lord Vishnu's? And normally you'll see that with Krishna's devotees, they sometimes don't have many material possessions. Even when we've been reading the Jorashtakam, one of the lines in there is that that eventually the person turns into a beggar. So why is this? And we also, in this, it's also talking about the fact that Lord Shiva lives as a mendicant. He lives as a, he's got no home. He's a wanderer. He hasn't, he himself, even though he gives so many boons, and I think this is why there's such a big appeal about him, because he actually himself lives very simply. Whereas like when you hear about Lord Narayan, he's the husband of the goddess Fortune, like it said here, and Vaikuntha planets are all very materially opulent. So why is this? What is the reason for this? And this is what Parikshit Maharaj is asking. So worshippers of Lord Shiva are very rich. Krishna or Lord Vishnu, still the worshippers of Lord Shiva are very rich. Krishna or Lord Vishnu, however, lives very opulently, whether in Vaikuntha or in the material world, but his devotees appear poverty-stricken. Why is this? So this is the question that's being asked by Maharaj Parikshit. And like it says, it's very intelligent, and he's talking about the fact that sorry that there's two classes of devotees, namely the devotees of Lord Shiva and the devotees of Lord Vishnu. And they're in, like I say, most people can, like, I've never grown up in a culture where there was, it's like, there's Lord Shiva and there's Lord Krishna. And most people know that. I don't know, from where I come from, most people know that Lord Krishna is, because maybe it's from the Dwarka side. But even when Lord, he appears on earth, like we hear that, he went to Rameshwaram when he was looking for Sita Devi, and he prayed to, in Rameshwaram, they prayed to Lord Shiva. Even in Dwarka, when, it's written in Krishna book that Krishna would do Shivling Puja every day. So even when Lord comes, there's this beautiful relationship between him and Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva generally he'll always be like, he's in meditation of Lord Ram, Krishna, and he has this ultimate love for Krishna. And Krishna equally is the same. There's a lot of love between these two personalities. And obviously, if we look further into the scripture, we understand that, Lord Shiva is like yogurt and Krishna is like milk. So when Lord Shiva engages with material energy, he turns into, like, it's like yogurt. Yogurt can't turn back into milk, but milk can turn into yogurt. So, there's this beautiful relationship that the two of them have. And then here, so he's a marriage. They're talking about, even, like in South India and places, they still have, they have the Vishnu temples, they have the Shiva temples, and Rameshwaram is one of those places where actually it comes together, the Vishnu Tattva and the Shiv Tattva, but generally the temples are quite separate. And sorry guys, I've just got really bad hay fever and the pollen's stuck in my throat. And then probably if you just go a little bit up, eventually it says that Lord Shiva is in charge of the three modes of material nature. So he is in charge of the three modes of material nature with Durga Devi. And so the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, he's kind of the ruler of those modes. Whereas devotees and people that generally worship Krishna, Lord Narayan, or Lord Vishnu, they transcend these. But if you just go up a little bit, they transcend these different modes. Just scroll up. Yeah, so it should just say somewhere there. Already. No, just a little bit more up. No, sorry, down. Sorry, I'm not up. I mean down. Sorry. And furthermore. Yes, here, perfect. Okay, yeah. So Lord Shiva is understood to be the master of the material energy. The material energy is manifested in the three qualities, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. And therefore, Lord Shiva is the master of these three qualities. Although he is in the association with these qualities for the benefit of conditioned soul. Lord Shiva is their director and is not affected. In other words, although the conditioned soul is affected by the three qualities, Lord Shiva, being the master, is not. So this is one of the reasons we could say that Lord Shiva, because he controls these modes of material nature, he's able to grant a lot of these boons to his devotees, whereas he himself, because he is Para Vaishnava, he's not affected by these modes. So he's just basically in charge of these modes, and therefore the conditioned souls normally, when people pray to Lord Shiva, it's because they want something material from him. But that doesn't mean he's under those influence of them. He's above that. So from this statement of Sukadev Goswami, we can understand that the effects of worshipping different demigods are not the same, are not, as some less intelligent persons suppose, the same as the effects of worshipping Lord Vishnu. So one of the things I realized is that Krishna is the only personality, that because he's supreme, that we can actually just render devotional service to. So yes, we could say that there are devotees of all the demigods, and they'll have their own they'll also have their own devotees, but actually when they're praying, it's because of something, they want something. But Krishna is the only that you can actually just love Krishna, and you can just offer devotional service to him, like you can cook for him, you can serve him, you can chant for him, you have people sing for him, dance for him, all sorts of different, that building a relationship. That seems that it's more specific to Krishna. But then Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita that if a person does choose to worship any of the other demigods, then actually they're just praying, they're still praying to Krishna. And if Krishna sees that their devotion to that demigod is really genuine, and it's full of love and devotion and bhakti, then he also gives that devotee he also gives them intelligence to worship that demigod. So like obviously, like on a Monday we see like lots of people go to a Lord Shiva temple, and they offer like Bilipatra or different types of, so even that even though that they're worshiping Krishna indirectly, that intelligence to worship is still coming from Krishna, and he makes their devotion strong also, because he sees that they're not asking for like just material benefits, they're asking for like love and devotion to that demigod or that so he also, but generally with Krishna, he's the only that we can actually just love, worship, and Krishna is always helping us as well, but it's not necessary that, it's just that we want to serve Krishna. and this pure devotional service which we've spoken about before, that it's unmotivated, so it's not that we want something, it's just, and it's uninterrupted, it's constant, like it's just a loving service to him, and that's what, as devotees, that we're trying to develop. So Lord Shiva obviously rewards people who obviously pray to him, with normally like material benedictions, unless you ask for like spiritual upliftment, and then generally lots and lots of devotees come to Krishna consciousness because they've once maybe been like quite devoted to Lord Shiva, and if you don't ask for anything, then eventually like it Lord Shiva brings that devotee to Krishna Bhakti. Okay, Prabhu, if you can just move down. And then here, since the material world is a product of the three qualities of material nature, all varieties of manifestations come from these three qualities. With the aid of materialistic science, modern civilization has created many machines and comforts, yet they are only varieties of interactions of the three modes of material qualities. Although the devotees of Lord Shiva are able to obtain many material acquisitions, we should know that such devotees are simply collecting products manufactured by the three qualities. So, yes, of course, everything material, this is how I understand how material things come into play. So, when creation happened, and this is from Bhagavatam, I think like maybe fifth canto or fourth. Basically everything, imagine like you have a washing machine and then that washing machine is just there, but until you take the plug and you put it into the socket and you switch it on, that electricity can't flow. So in essence, everything was just inert. So everything was just here, material prakriti was here, but until when the Lord glances upon material and nature and gives that and brings it to life, it's just all there. It's just lying there dormant until the glare of the Lord happens, and then everything, like the grass moves and the trees move and everything grows, and consciousness is kind of and then material energy starts to kind of that she becomes they say she becomes impregnated like that, yeah. So so everything's just lying dormant, and in the same way all these products that material nature like that is provided for us, these are just made out of the material qualities, and they normally used for sense gratification. So most people, they're just after pleasurable things, palatable dishes, but also we get palatable dishes in Krishna consciousness also, but it's with the mood that prasadam, that bhoga has been offered to the Lord, and then we're just relishing the remnants of the Lord, as opposed to just eating pleasurable dishes for the sake of it. So the mood changes, but apart from that, generally this material happiness is what a lot of people think is that is what life is about. Hey, Prabhu, can you please scroll up? Down. So the devotees of Lord Shiva are opulent only in terms of material qualities. Eventually, such so-called advancement of civilization is the cause of entanglement in material existence. It is actually not advancement, but degradation. The conclusion is that because Lord Shiva is the master of the three qualities, his devotees are given these things manufactured by the interactions of these qualities for the satisfaction of the senses. In the Bhagavad Gita, however, we get instruction from Lord Krishna that one has to transcend this qualitative existence, which is called Nishtre Gunya, Bhavarjuna. So the mission of human life is to become transcendental. So it means to rise above these three qualities, unless one is Nishtre Guna, he cannot get free from material entanglement. In other words, favors received from Lord Shiva are not actually beneficial to the conditioned souls, although materially such facilities seem opulent. So clearly people become, even if we look at our phones, which is a very, very modern example of a product, a material product, people are so addicted to it. And attachment, even if you look at young children, I mean, it's one of the biggest things in education. The children are becoming hooked to games, to phones. What's his name? Steve Jobs, the person who created the iPhone technology, etc. He didn't give his children a phone because he knew that that's addiction. So people know this, and then they know about people becoming like entangled in this material, these material things, and therefore they use it for advertising. That's like modern day way of entangling people. Like certain countries in the world, they know that certain parts of the world, certain people are attracted by certain things, so they entice them with those things, and then people become entangled in them, and that's obviously, it does eventually lead to a degradation. So Sukhdev Goswami confirmed the Supreme Personality of Hari is transcendental to these three modes of material nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord states that anyone who surrenders unto him surpasses the control of the three qualities of material nature. Therefore, since Hari's devotees are transcendental to the control of the three material qualities, certainly he himself is transcendental. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is therefore stated to be nirguna means to be bereft of material opulences, because, as we have explained, material opulence means an increase of actions and reactions of three material qualities. By worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, instead of being puffed up by material opulence, one becomes enriched with spiritual. If you can go down.
Mataji, I think you were reading here, Mataji, and then
Yes.
something where we skip a little bit. I don't know where it is.
Okay, it's just okay. Hold on. There are okay. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is therefore stated that Hari or Krishna is the original Supreme Personality. There are no, sorry. Oh, okay. So basically, here Lord is saying in Bhagavad Gita that if we surrender to him, then he will not engage us or get us entangled in this material. We'll be able to cross this material existence. If we get entangled, which is so easy, then we're going to be lost. We can just see how people get so, like, even like the phone, people are so obsessed with the phone. That's just a really basic item, but people can become very, very absorbed in that, and Krishna is basically saying that he will save us from this. So if we think about when we're chanting, I know for me, one of the examples is that if I wasn't to chant and I was to walk in a high street, then I would want to go into every shop and I would probably want to buy clothes, because that's how much material attached I am. But if I chant, then for some reason that day, I'll just be walking and those things don't attract me. Because that we're kind of, through our chanting, we have this like level of protection against these kind of material objects as well. So I'm sure we all have our own stories, which maybe you can share at the end. How chanting helps us to elevate ourselves from the three modes of material nature and into a more transcendental situation. There are two kinds of prakritis or potencies, namely the internal potency. So Krishna has his internal potency, his Haladini Shakti, and his external potency, Durga Devi. And Krishna is the overlord of both. He is Sarvadrik, or the overseer of all the actions of internal and external potencies. And he is also described as Upadrasta, the supreme advisor. Because he is the supreme advisor, he is above all the demigods who merely follow in the directions of the supreme advisor. As such, if one directly follows the instructions of the Supreme Lord as inculcated in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, then one gradually becomes nirguna, or above the interactions of the material qualities. To be nirguna means to be bereft of material opulences, because, as we have explained, material opulence means an increase in the action and reactions of the three material qualities. So the fact that, say, for example, if we want something, we're going to have to work for it. So there's going to be action and reaction. Whereas people that are very, very like sadhu, or if they live, we all experienced saintly people living in very humble conditions, very intelligent and everything, but they always live very simple, because they know that material opulence is actually going to pull them down. For material things, we have to do a lot. Like if we even just think we have to work every day just to kind of maintain our eating, sleeping, defending, etc. We have to work. With every object we buy, we have to work for it. The bills, they have to be paid. Whereas, the clothes we buy, they have to be paid for. All the like furniture in a house has to be paid for. So the more simpler we live, and the less materially attached we are, actually, like we hear about Srila Prabhupada, like even when he was in London, so most of us have been into his room in the manor, but he still used to sleep on the floor. Like he had that big kind of poster bed, but he only used to sleep on the floor, like on a mattress, because sadhus generally are very simple. But Srila Prabhupada, he's great. He said that we should use everything in Yukta Vairagya. We should use everything in Krishna's service as well. So that's another way of actually becoming free. So if we have a house and we say, okay, this is a temple for Lord, then actually we become detached from it. And in that way, we're just a servant of that house, and we're servant of, not of the house, sorry, of Krishna, because the house is like a temple. And therefore, our actions, if we think of it like that, then our actions become purified, because we know that, okay, one day we won't be here. The house may be there, the house may not, but essentially we understand that this is the Lord's temple and we're just here to serve the Lord. And in that way, we can also purify ourselves, and instead of becoming puffed up. So obviously we all know, we've all seen how people can become very, very very crazy about great wealth and become extremely puffed up, and normally we've probably heard so many stories and so many examples of how people become rich, and then after that, it's like a downward slope for them, unless they have that knowledge. They can really become quite arrogant about the money, because they think it's theirs. They don't understand that everything belongs to Krishna, and they won't use things like the Isha Vyasha principle, where everything belongs to Krishna. And if, one person takes another person's quota, then like we're all designated a quota. Like when we're born, we all have a quota. If we start taking each other's quota, it means that like there's some people that have like even no food, say for example, because some people have too much. So there's this understanding of this kind of fairness. So as we advance in Krishna consciousness, we actually achieve eternal peace. It says here, fearlessness, religiousness, knowledge, and renunciation. All these are symptoms of becoming free from the contamination of material quality.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Now we can hear, yes.
So it's like, as we develop in Krishna consciousness, it's not that sometimes those things are not there, but we just have a different understanding, and we use everything in the right way. We're less scared because we understand that like we can't grab onto everything. Like there's Alexander the Great, when it was his funeral, he asked everyone that keep my arms open at my funeral, and even though he'd like conquered so many different nations and what have you, he actually said that his main teaching for his death was that he came with nothing and he's going to leave with nothing. And if we have that understanding, we actually become fearless. And even if we look at someone like Srila Prabhupada, he came from a merchant family, he had his own business, and when his businesses did kind of like I think there were some issues with it, eventually he became fearless, especially when he was a sannyasi. He traveled the world. He done things that no one had ever done before. He preached Krishna consciousness on streets to like some of the most downfallen people. He traveled the globe like 14 times, and that is a quality of like fearlessness. At the age of like 70 plus, that's difficult, but he's done that. And that's because even though he had all those temples and disciples, he knows that that was all for Krishna. So they've usually people are very peaceful. They have knowledge and they can renunciate. So, Srila Prabhupada set something up, move on, set something up, move on. We see this with like the quality of the Lord, like Lord Ram. He was able to renunciate his kingdom when he was banished. Even Krishna, we see lots of renunciation from Krishna when he left Vrindavan, when they went to Mathura, but then even leaving Mathura and going to Dwarka, like setting up kingdoms, but then just renouncing. So this that's not easy. Like if someone builds an empire, then normally they become very attached to it. But Krishna, this quality comes directly from him. It's that he's above that. He's not, even though the material nature is there, he's above that. And even when we look at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leelas, he actually doesn't want to be around materialists, because he understands that unless they're Krishna conscious, they're going to be attached to those material. They're going to be attached. Okay, Prabhu, can we move down? So although I won't read that whole bit. Right, so although by nature Krishna is always very satisfied, so this is about Maharaj Yudhishthira asking him around, so like we understand that the Pandavas did the Ashwamedha sacrifice when in the sacrificial arena. So when the Pandavas became the kings of what was that place called? Indraprasth, they did the great sacrifice there, and Ashwamedha. And Yudhishthira Maharaj inquired from Lord Krishna on the very same point. How is it that devotees of Lord Shiva become materially opulent, whereas the devotees of Lord Vishnu do not? So Sukdev Goswami specifically referred to King. So obviously, when he's talking about Yudhishthira, when Sukdev Goswami is talking about Yudhishthira Maharaj, that is the grandfather of Parikshit Maharaj. So again, these questions have always been asked. So although by nature Krishna is always very satisfied, when Maharaj Yudhishthira asked this question, the Lord becomes even more satisfied because this question and its answer would bear a great meaning for the entire Krishna conscious society. Whenever Lord Krishna speaks about something to a specific devotee, it is meant not only for that devotee, but for all devotees, and indeed for the entire human society. Instructions by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if you go down, are important even to Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all demigods. And if one does not take advantage of the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who descends within this world for the benefit of all living entities, he's certainly very unfortunate. So basically, Krishna here is giving us the answer. So Lord Krishna answered the question of Maharaj Yudhishthira as follows: if I especially favor a devotee and especially wish to take care for him, the first thing I do is take away his riches. When the devotee becomes a penniless pauper or is put into a comparatively poverty-stricken position, his relatives and family members no longer take interest in him, and in most cases they give up their connection with him. The devotee then becomes doubly unhappy. First of all, the devotee becomes unhappy because his riches have been taken away by Krishna, and he is made even more unhappy when his relatives desert him because of his poverty. We should note, however, that when a devotee falls into a miserable condition in this way, it is not due to past impious activities known as karma phala. The poverty of the devotee is a creation of the personality of Godhead. Similarly, when a devotee becomes materially opulent, that is also not due to his pious activities. In either case, whether the devotee becomes poorer or richer, the arrangement is made by Krishna. This arrangement is especially made by Krishna for his devotee, just to make him completely dependent upon him and to free him from all material obligations. He can then concentrate his energies, mind and body, everything for the service of the Lord. That is pure devotional service. So yes, whether a devotee becomes rich, once we surrender to Krishna, whether we become rich or we become poor, it's not part of karma. It's just, that's the situation the Lord has put us in. So whichever situation Lord has kept us in, that is the situation he wants us to be in. And all of those things are there to actually increase our devotion to Krishna. So say, for example, like one of the, I think when I was maybe a very, like I used to think, oh, if you go to Vrindavan and you just become a devotee, like you leave everything and you give up all your material and you go there and then you become a devotee. But actually, whichever situation Krishna keeps you in, you should be a devotee. So it's not that it could be that, so whichever situation you're in, if you're surrendered to Krishna, that is the most conducive situation for you at that moment to practice your Krishna consciousness. Some people need less, some people need more. So for example, if I'd continue staying in India, maybe because I wasn't actually born there, the weather might have been too hot, whatever, like for some reason I'm not habituated completely. Like maybe I could live there for a long time, but not as much as like someone that's been born there. Like it's different for them. So in the same way, whichever situation Krishna keeps us in, it's because in that particular situation, you can focus your mind and your energy more on Krishna, and therefore that part is the pure devotional service. So we should be situated correctly so that we can perform our devotional service to Krishna. So it's not about, I belong to this society or this family or these designations. They all go at this point. It is that we can just understand that our main designation is to be a devotee is free from all designations. So we're not anything. We're just the servant of the servant of the servant of Lord Krishna. And in that way, our devotion grows, and we're freed from the material effects. And these activities are no longer in the category of karma phalam or fruitive activity. So in this stage, there is no, it's not like, we were working for something because we wanted this. We've come out of that, and in whichever situation we're in, it's that we're dependent on Krishna. We've surrendered ourselves to Krishna, and then Krishna's keeping us in that position or whatever, because we can then perform our devotional service to him. So the devotee does not care whether he's in happiness or in distress. He just goes on executing his duties. Although his behavior seems to be subject to the actions and reactions of fruitive activities, is actually freed from the result of action. So this is about our consciousness with which we work. It's the consciousness with which we engage with things. So if we believe that we are, the owner of a house, or if we believe that this is my wife, or this is my husband, or this is my parents, and we don't relate them back to Krishna, like this is another soul, this is a soul that Krishna's given to me. If we don't relate that, or this is the house that Krishna, if we don't relate it back to Krishna, then that's going to be, then we're going to be in fruitive activities. But once we connected to Krishna, we engage in that service, then we are in the process of doing pure devotional service, despite where our designation is. Our designation just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we're rich, poor, whatever, woman, man, it doesn't matter. It's just the consciousness with which we are serving the Lord. So even if, we have a job, if we think that I'm going to this job because I need to make sure that I pay my mortgage, because my temple for Krishna is there, my children, they're given to me by Krishna. If we think in that way, then everything becomes an act of devotion towards Krishna. It's when we think that this is my, then we're in a little bit of problems. So I think Prabhu's just brought up this amazing chart.
This is the hierarchy of consciousness, Mataji. So
Yeah.
starting from all the human society, of course, there is a inanimate matter to human society gradual, and then human to Varnashram Dharma Brahmanas, and then further understanding the Vedas and going up to performing his prescribed duties, free from results of his activities. Then further surrendering himself to the Lord. And then after that, after surrender, the pure devotional service, it starts for the pleasure of the Lord. And from 22 up to coming up to the third stage, highest achievement, ensure loving service to Sri Sri Radha Krishna. Before that, it is the Ananya Bhakti, Prema Bhakti, Krishna Prema Parakasta, Krishna's nearest devotees and Krishna's confidential servant, and entering Krishna's abode, and then the highest achievement, it is the interesting, so eternal loving service to Sri Sri Radha Krishna.
Oh, that's beautiful. What a beautiful poster as well. So yeah, that can you share that please in the chat maybe?
Yeah, I have shared in
Oh,
our
you
group
did.
message.
So this is brilliant. I mean, na pashyami param bhutam. I do not see a greater person than he who has no interest outside of mine, and who therefore engages and dedicates all his activities and all his life, everything, onto me without cessation. So that's from Srimad Bhagavatam 3:29-33. Yeah, so essentially, our life should be it should be an act of devotion towards the Lord, which that's what we're endeavoring for. And this is amazing, like Prabhu said, like the different stages. And these, I love these charts because it actually helps you to understand just roughly where you are at.
Because
And
we might be at the human beings, just human beings at the moment. There is Varnashrama Dharma further, that is 11th stage, and then there are so many stages to go further beyond up to 33.
yeah, I mean, even like human beings, like you say, and then going into Varna ashram, and then yeah, like this is it's like, but at least it's got stages and it helps you to identify. And then sometimes in life we will meet these kind of people that are like, especially in Vrindavan, that are like really, and then you could say, oh, that this our soul is on this journey, and because we're lucky enough to have a spiritual master, like you know who Srila Prabhupada says, just hold on to my dhoti and I will take you into the spiritual world. Nevertheless, like if we did have to come back, at least we can start from where we left off, because there's no you know there's no loss in bhakti. It's always like something that you grow and you develop. It could be over lifetimes, it could be in one lifetime, it could be in a moment. But such an amazing poster, or whoever's put that together. It's very good. Prabhu, can we go back to the text?
Mataji, we're 9:30, Mataji. I think.
Oh, it's 9:30. Okay. So I said, can I just go to the very last bit? I just want to read the conclusion. The right at the end. Just the last bit.
Is this the one, Mataji?
So this is essentially Lord Shiva being saved from being killed by a demon. I think this is the Vanasura story. I'm not sure.
Because
But Vikrasura, yeah. So anyone who hears this story, hears this history with faith and devotion, is certainly liberated from a material entanglement. as well as the clutches of his enemies. So there's, just before this, there's a story of the demon called Vikrasura, which maybe we can look at another time. But in all of this, so Lord Shiva is the greatest devotee of Lord Vishnu, and we should follow in his footsteps. Just to end, and then there is people that say that Lord Shiva is the highest. Some will say Lord Narayan, but Lord Shiva himself, always tells us to worship Lord Hari, and therefore we should follow in his footsteps, and understand that. So Nimna Ganam Yatha Ganga Devanam Achuto Yatha Vaishnavnam Yatha Shambhu Puranam Idam Tataha. So just as the Ganga is the greatest of all rivers, Lord Achyuta is the supreme amongst deities, and Lord Shambhu, Shiva, is the greatest of Vaishnavas. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the greatest of all Puranas. So we just need to follow in these footsteps. And like we went back to Chaitanya Charitamrita, we were talking about pure devotion and pure devotee. I think this is an amazing way to. So which was the verse we started with? So the word Atma also means body. The yogi who practices bodily exercises, considering the body to be self, are also elevated to the transcendental service of the Lord. If they associate with pure devotees, there are many people who believe the body to be the self and that they're engaged in many fruitive activities, including bathing rituals and ordinary worldly activities. But when they come in contact with the pure devotee, they also engage in the transcendental service of the Lord. So, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nicely, you have taken us into different pastimes of Krishna and Lord Shiva. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, so we shall stop there. And dear devotees, if you have got any reflections, questions, comments, kindly ask, kindly share, kindly reflect. Jai Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much, Mataji. Such a beautiful class, and I learned few things today. One was I didn't know about that Lord Shiva is above the three modes. I thought it was only Lord Vishnu, so I learned about that. And the second thing I learned was about the pure, where it says the poverty of a devotee is it's given it's through an arrangement by Lord Vishnu, and it's not because of the past karma. I thought it was a mixture of both, but here it clearly says it's an arrangement by Lord Vishnu. So thank you. I learned something new today. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Very beautiful comments. Swarup Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Very nice class. You have explained the relation between Shiva, Vishnu, Krishna very nicely. I have one question on that, if I may ask you. Okay, so we go by the scriptures. Now, this was a discussion that I was having with someone, and that person said, but I haven't read, so I do not know what he's saying is correct or not. I didn't get time to reflect on it. But his view is that in Shiva Purana and in Linga Purana, Shiva is being described as the ultimate source of creation, preservation, and dissolution. And in Linga Purana, he is being described as the eternal, formless reality from which all gods arise. How do we?
Yeah.
Because we go by Brahma Purana and Brahma Samhita and the scriptures whereby it's clearly said in Srimad Bhagavatam is clearly said about Krishna. But when I got this question, I was thinking that maybe I have to study a bit more to really understand from where this person is coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you like to read this Prabhuji?
Sure. So in the Padma Purana,
Maybe we can read from here, Prabhuji.
sure. Suta Goswami spoke all 18 major Puranas at Naimisaranya, and the sages present accepted them as authentic. Nonetheless, 3 groups of 6 Puranas each are meant for 3 different audiences, depending on which of the 3 modes of nature predominates each audience. But for each individual Purana, the situation is more complex because most Puranas display some mixture of the modes. For example, the pastime of Lord Krishna and those of Lord Ramachandra, which are in the mode of pure goodness, are described to some extent in most of the Puranas. In Padma Purana, Uttara 236.19.21 and then 18, Lord Shiva describes which Puranas belong to each mode. Vaishnavam Naradiyam cha tatha Bhagavatam Shubham Garudam cha tatha Padmam Varaham Shubha Darshane Satvikani Puranani Vijnayani Shubhani Ve. O beautiful one, the Vishnu Purana, the Narada Purana, the auspicious Bhagavata Purana, and the Garuda Purana and Varaha Puranas all belongs to the mode of goodness. They are all considered auspicious. Matsyam Kaurmam Tatha Laingam. Sorry, Prabhu, you want me to read that again?
This one, yes, Prabhuji.
Brahmandham Brahma Vaitaram Markandeyam Tathaiva cha Bhavishyam Vamanam Brahmam Rajasani Nibuddhata. Know that the Brahmanda, Brahma Vaivarta, Markandeya, Vavishya, Vamana, and Brahma Puranas belong to the mode of passion. Okay. Vavishya, Brahma Puranas belong to passion. Okay. Matsyam Kurmam Tatha Laingam, Shaivam Skandham Tathaivacha, Agneyam Cha Shad Itani, Tamasani Nibodhatha. And know that these 6 Puranas belong to the mode of ignorance. The Matsya, Kurma, Linga, Shiva, Skanda, and Agni Puranas. Okay, Prabhu, understood. So Prabhu, so this is being said in where we started from, where it is being said. I just want to go back to that in Padma Purana. Sure, describe. Yes, Prabhu, that I understood. I'm just seeing that where are these texted, where are these slokas being in Padma Purana Uttara 236. Okay. Okay, Prabhu, if it's possible, if you can send this part or the link, that will be very helpful.
Prabhuji? Yes.
Okay, Prabhu, got it. Okay, Prabhu, understood. I think I understand what you are trying to explain.
Thank you, Prabhuji. This is targeting the predominates each audience.
Yes.
The audience in the mode of ignorance, they take
Yes.
Shiva Purana.
But can we be challenged that okay, this is being mentioned in
Yes.
in Padma Puran, which we believe in.
So here Lord Shiva only speaks.
Describe Lord Shiva speaks. Okay. In Padma Puran, Lord Shiva describes which Puranas belong to each mode. Oh, that's very interesting. Okay, I understand, bro.
And the other thing is, like, Lord Shiva is very, like, he's known as Ashutosh, so he's very, very, very merciful and compassionate, even to the like the ghosts and the non-entities even. And he's very, very compassionate, so that he helps all of those people as well to at least reach some sort of stage. And then, I think he brings them up to a certain standard, and then slowly, like I know when I first started, it was through devotion of Lord Shiva that I then came into Krishna consciousness. Not that I didn't know Krishna was God, but just it's easy. I mean, I found it like, I can't explain it, but lots of devotees have this experience where they came through some sort of worship of Lord Shiva, and he moves us up. It's like Durga Devi. She'll keep us trapped here, but then when we surrender to the Lord, she makes it easier for us as well. So they have a role as well to kind of elevate us all, I think. That's just a personal experience, but I know so many people that have been through that's a similar journey like that.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. And Prabhuji. So shall go on, so due to the time. Kaushalya Mataji.
Yes, probably. It's well narrated, and I think it was well explained because I come from South India. As said, there's different temples for Shivites, Sivabites, and Vaishnavites. But the main concept is like people pray to different gods, but the concept is like when people understand that everyone comes from Krishna, Krishna created Shiva, and that's why Ram has to pray, built a linka on Rameshwaram to win Sita with the help of his own power, because the look is like they both are same, so the power is same. But yeah, it's well explained and narrated. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Bridget Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for this wonderful session. Of course, I know that I need to learn and read much more, but you explained so beautifully that I was able to understand the essence, I think, the essence of the devotional service and the pure devotional service. And the other thing that I loved to listen to was what you explained about that the situation, the place, and the duties that where we are in is because is the best. So is what the Lord knows that is the best for our path. So that's beautiful to know and to remember that. And the other thing that was beautiful to see the post that and the explanation about the complete process of bhakti, to see that all the stages, and this is a very wider perspective, and so you can. It's a reminder that, of course, even for me, for example, see that even maybe the biggest problem that we are facing in our lives is not such a big thing, maybe, because the process is wider. It's a very wide thing that maybe we think. So it's very nice to see this and to remember this process. And so thank you so much, Mataji and Prabhuji.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. Again, so Krishna, whenever he is taking off all his resources of a devotee, he tests. If the devotee is not able to tolerate on that particular state, and Krishna would not still test. So he will hold and then make him to calm down a little bit, he give. But if devotee is able to tolerate, so this is how Krishna gives.
Yeah.
He tests.
Thank
So as per the level of consciousness, he tests his devotees.
Mhm. Yeah. Thank you so much,
And
Hare Krishna.
very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, shall we move on to other devotees? In the Leka Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Mataji. We can see the conversation going about Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna, who is the highest. And why the devotees of Lord Shiva are more opulent than those of Lord Krishna. Because Lord Krishna, he doesn't want to keep the living entities in this material world. He wants to take them back home. And if he gives opulence, we will think, okay, this is life. We'll enjoy, and we will get all the opulence, and we will get into the circle of birth, old age, disease, and death, which Krishna does not want. Krishna wants to take us out. That's why he doesn't give, he takes. He takes away. When we don't have anything, then only we turn toward him. If we have everything, we'll turn toward Lord Shiva, Durga Mata. Durga Mata, her job is to keep us Durga. Durga, this material world is a prison, Durga. And Ga is her, she is the god for the fortress. She is the god here. So she has to keep us. That's her job. She doesn't want to lose her job. She has to be very careful, right? And also, we know that people talk about development. We came across this word that people are making progress in the world, or making big development. What are all these things? Suppose, okay, building highways is kind of a big development. And then we have noise pollution, we have air pollution, we have all kinds of pollution, right? And then somebody else comes, that person will find a solution for the air pollution or for the noise pollution. What has he done? In the first place, if we don't create the problem, we don't have to find a solution for that problem. Problem comes with us.
Yeah.
That is where it comes from, right? Another point I would like to talk is about, you mentioned that Lord Ram prayed to Lord Shiva at Rameshwaram. And also it is mentioned that Lord Ram prayed to Varunidev before he built the bridge over the ocean to go to Lanka. Lord, first let's take Varunidev. Lord Ram called for 3 days. When Lord Ram decided to dry up the ocean with his bow, then Varunidev came. Why? Varunidev just wanted to show the supremacy of the Lord.
Yeah.
Right? If he had come and then people would say, oh, he asked from Varunidev the permission. He did not. He just wanted to show the supremacy. Yes, the Lord has got the power. If I don't come, he will dry up the ocean. That was the point. And Lord Shiva, Lord Ram never prayed to him that allow me to cross the ocean or allow me to go to Lanka. No, Lord Ram said, Lord Shiva, I'm going to kill your devotee, because Ravana was a big devotee of Lord Shiva. Today, I'm just letting you know that I'm going to kill him because of all that chaos that he's creating. So there is no way that the Lord, he could have gone. He could have just blinked his eyes and Lanka would be destroyed. But this is his pastime. He's just engaging us in his pastime so that we understand life, we understand where we stand, and we understand how we should be behaving in this world. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
So beautifully put. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. So again, as Lord Shiva is Vaishnavanam Meta Shambhu, he is devotee of the Lord. So there is again what Lord does. Lord serves his devotees. Brahmanya Devaha Purushaha Puratanu Nityam Harihi Yat Charanabhivandhanat. He serves his devotees. Avapalakshmim Anupayinam Yasho Jagat Pavitram Cha Mahatamagranihi. Jagat Pavitram Cha Mahatamagrani. Mahatama Agranihi. All his devotees are greatest devotees. Lord serves his devotees. By that he became famous. And in the Bharatam, during the Rajasuya times, Krishna washed the feet of all the Brahmana, those supreme personality of God. He washed. And worshipping Lord Shiva, it it's again as a matter of formalities. Again, Krishna, he serves all his devotees all the time.
Prabhu, there's this, I don't know if you can remember the verse, but there's somewhere in Bhagavatam it says that if someone is a devotee of Lord Shiva, then they get protection from Lord Narayan, and if someone is a devotee of Lord Narayan, they get protection from Lord Shiva. I can't remember the.
Yes, Mataji, in the I think Vedas personified, they're glorifying Krishna, like whoever is thinking, I think, and also as part of Rudra Gita, there also we see that whoever is envious of other, the both will go into the hell.
Yeah, like you can't. That's yeah.
One should not show any points to the Lord Shiva's devotees, and the other way around as well. Okay, everyone are in their own journey according to their mode of nature, either ignorance or passion or goodness. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, we shall move on. Gayatri Mataji, just very quickly.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna RadhaSevika Mataji. Such a wonderful session, Mataji. Speaking about today, yes, and heard lot about Shiva today in the morning class also, and today now this class also. Very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. One thing which I today got my point was that Krishna, we can do a loving devotional service to Krishna, but not to Lord Shiva, which was my takeaway point today, Mataji. So beautifully explained everything. Thank you, Mataji. And Induleka Mataji also explained very nicely. And Prabhuji has always. And Prabhuji, please send the poster, Prabhuji, later in the group or something where we can see.
You want to look at the chat, Mataji? So what?
Yes, Prabhuji, there are so many in that, so many are there, so I must have missed it. Not just one, right? There were so many, so yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Two of them are there, Mataji.
Yes, yeah, many are there in that one, so yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, very nice. Thank you, Mataji, for those comments. Okay, we shall move to Jahanakanya Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. Oh, you can hear me. Oh, thank you. Thank you for a wonderful delivery of this verse and the difference between Krishna and Lord Shiva. It's so much different than what I knew. So it's good rehearsal for me and look into it a bit deeper. Also, there was something, if you don't mind, very quickly about Lord Krishna does not give what the devotee is asking for. Is that right? Did I get it right?
Yeah, you get what you need, not what you want.
Yes. So it's because devotees are Lord Krishna knows everybody's desire. Even if you're not a devotee, you're aspiring to become. So he's got this power to make things different, even if you're not a devotee yet. So that's what I'm saying. I thought I heard that there was nobody could get what they want in a way, because there are some people who wanted things and they did pray for it, and And of course, I think Krishna knew their intention, and they got it. But it's what the devotee does with it is another story. So I remember a Prabhu from London. He's a multimillionaire now, and he went to the temple in Mana Temple, and he prayed to the Lord to make him rich. He really prayed with all his heart. Yeah, Agarwal, we go to his house sometimes. He's opened his house to everybody when he has anything. So what Krishna gave him the stuff, what he asked for, with every intention that, you know, it was a test. But he must have known his intention that he's going to make a good of it. And what did he do? He shared it with the temple, and he also invite people regularly at his home. They're having big sangha there, and feed them. It's so nice. I've been once. I had opportunity to go more than once, but I went once, and you can tell he's so humble. So individuals can be given these things. It's what the devotee does with it. I suppose it's so important. If you got a big house, what do? Do you just say it's mine, and nobody else could share it, and you think you're happy? It's only temporary. And then, but if you share it with the devotees, Prabhupada says this often in some of his talks. Share your house with the devotees. Share what you got with the devotees. Take them in your car. Transport them here and there. That's why some pure devotees from the temple always rush in to take that opportunity to take people to the Maharajas to the airport. Any Vaishnav going somewhere, they help them to get there. It's so beautiful. So yeah, there are incidents to prove that you can give to the people who want, but at the same time they make good use of it and they serve Krishna. Yeah, those are devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So very beautiful. So again, there is one point here. Dhruv Maharaj mentions Avapa Lakshmi Anapayinimeshu. Sorry. Apyeva Madhya Bhagavan Paripadhyenan Vashre Vatsakam Anugraha Katirosman. So just like Lord fulfills the desires of a devotee, again, he gives the protection as well. So based on the condition of a devotee, here Dhruv Maharaj is still entering at this point of time. And he fulfilled the desire of Dhruv Maharaj that he wanted a bigger job than his father. So he got a Dhruv Lok, and then he protected his devotion as well. Okay, there it is. Prabhupada is explaining here. Lord also not only does fulfill desires, who is driven by ignorance and desires for material benefit, but he also gives such devotee all protection, just as cow gives milk to a newly born calf. Okay, but as the devotee progress further, again, Lord will slowly take away. But initially, he will provide all the necessities, whatever is required for the devotee. Thank you, Mataji. I think we shall move on. Usha Mataji, wanted to add anything, Mataji? Okay, Gauringi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. No Prabhu, not having anything but a very wonderful class. So much to learn about Lord Shiva and Krishna. So thank you, RadhaSevika Mataji, for a wonderful class. Sorry for joining late also, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, Gauringi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna RadhaSevika Mataji, Pranam. Very nice class, Mataji. We heard Lord Shiva and Vishnu and Krishna. You talk about that, Mataji. So everybody mentioned about that. So thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
I don't have any word, Mataji. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Gauringi Mataji, would you like to lead Narsima Press, Mataji? And also before that, can we all unmute and do 3 laughter reports to RadhaSevika Mataji, please.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol. Hari
Nibo.
Bol. Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Thank you so much, RadhaSevika Mataji, very much. Okay, thank you so much. Gauranga Mataji, would you like to lead Narsima prayers, Mataji?
Sure, Prabhuji. Okay. Sorry, Prabhuji.
Ugram. Yes.
Ugram Biram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukham Nasingam Bisanam Bhadram Mrityum Namamyaham Sri Narsimha Jai Narsimha Jai Jai Narsimha Pralada Disa Jai Padma Mukha Padma Vinga Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Pranada Lada Daine Pranada Lada Daine Hiranyakashipur Bachahai
Hiranyakashipur Vashya
Sila Tanka Nakhalai
Shila Tanka
Nakala
Nakhalai
Ito Nasima Parato Nasima
Ito Narsimho Parato Narsimho
Yato Yami Tato Nasima
Yato Yami Tato
Narasimha
Narsimha
Bahir Nasimo Hridaye Nasimo
Bahir
Bhakti
Narsimho
Narasimha
Hridaye
Hridaye
Narsimho
Narasimha
Narasingamadim Saranam Prapade
Narasimhamadim
Narasimhadim Saranam
Saranam
Prapade
Prapade
Tabakara Kamala Bare Nakam Adbhuta Singam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhringam Keshavarita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare
Tavakara Kamala
Karakamalabare
Vari Nama
Nakam
Adbhuta
Shiva
Dalita
Lalita Hiranyakashipu
Hiranyakashipu
Tanubringa Keshavadrita
Keshavadrita
Narahari
Narahari
Rupa
Rupa Jai
Jai
Jagadish
Jagadeesha
Hare
Hare
Jai
Jai
Jagadish
Jagadish
Jagadeesha
Hare
Hare
Jai
Jaya
Jagadish
Jagadeesha Hare
Hare
Kesavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare
Keshavadrita
Savadrita
Narahari
Narahari
Rupa
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 Jai
Jai
Jaya
Jagadish
Jagadeesha
Hare
Hare
Jai
Jai
Jagadish
Jagadish
Hare
Hare
Jai Jagadish
Jagadeesha Hare
Hare
Jaya Narsimhadev, Jaya Narsimhadev, Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev.
Jaya Narasimhadev, Jaya Narasimhadev, Narasimhadev, Jaya Narasimhadev.
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj.
Jaya
Jaya
Prahlad
Prahlad
Maharaj, Jaya
Maharaj,
Prahlad
Prahlad
Maharaj,
Maharaj,
Prahlad
Prahlad
Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad
Maharaj.
Maharaj.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya
Prabhupada,
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 Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya
Jaya
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya
Gurudev,
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 Jaya
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 Gurudev.
Gurudev.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari
Hari
Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Bol.
विघ्न विनाशकारी नृसिंहदेव भगवान की,
Jai,
प्रहलाद महाराज की,
Jai,
Jai,
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की,
Jai.
Jai.
निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे।
Hari Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
ओम श्री कृष्ण।
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you,
Hare
RadhaSevika.
Krishna.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Mataji. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
So with this one, we shall conclude our session for tonight, and have a Krishna conscious day. Shall
Panchakalpatarupyasya Asimdhivayevasya Anam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Ananta Koti
Kodi
Vaishnavrinda
Vaishnavendra
ki
ki
Jai.
jai.
Srila
Srila
Prabhupada
Prabhupada
ki
ki
Jai.
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 All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Ananda
Krishna.
Ki Jai.
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 Haribol.
Hare